activation fee and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstortshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And this is a Mad Dog Monday. Yes, need your ballers and your busters from this past weekend. Also, if you want to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and them getting it all together, we can do that. Talked about them in the first couple of segments. Ben Roethlisberger, man. I mean, he's got title to 2 shows in a week's time as the Pittsburgh Steelers roll. They continue to roll yesterday. Ben Roethlisberger throws for 12 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Like, you would never peg Ben Roethlisberger for 12 touchdowns in 2 weekends, but he has done that. Yeah, that's reserved for like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, some guys we're going to talk about here in a second, but not Ben Roethlisberger. But you got to give him credit. You got to give credit where credit is due. So shouts out to Ben Roethlisberger. This is the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. If you're a company out there and you like to partner with us, we'd love to partner with you. We would definitely love to promote your brand, your product, whatever that may be. So you can email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com if you think it's a great fit. We talk sports. It's middle-aged dudes around here. Yeah, usually between like 34 and 55. I think that's the demo. And we talk sports and we have fun and we talk pop culture and whatever's going on in the news. If you think that's a good fit and that would help, push your company along, we'd love to email. We'd love to work with you. So email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. All right. We've been talking about it all day long on the show. Mean Joe Green's number was retired this past weekend. So he's pretty much acknowledged as the face of the organization. That's usually a quarterback, but in this particular case, I think it's apt because, the steel curtain, the 70s, the tough defensive-minded players they had on that team. So I think that's proper. So I'm asking you this question. Who's the face or who's the most iconic player to come through your program or through your organization if you're talking about pros versus college? From Scotty, and this is on the chat line on Spreaker.com. Scotty says, Buster Ward goes to the Georgia Bulldogs. The bigger the stage, the bigger the choke job. I talked about that a little bit earlier. That Ninja says, Mike Tomlin looks like GQ from Juice. Yeah, we've heard, man, come on, man. Be more original, that Ninja. We've heard that like 1,000 times. He does look like Omar Epps in Juice. King 50, okay, he says, for the Falcons, we still claim Deion Sanders. Hawks is Dominique Wilkins. Braves is Hank Aaron. Okay, Braves clearly is Hank Aaron. Clearly it's Hank Aaron for the Braves. I will agree with that. For the Hawks, clearly it's Dominique, even though they traded his ass for Danny Manning. And you usually don't trade your most iconic players. But that was bootleg as hell. But yes, I will agree. Dominique Wilkins is for the Hawks. And the Falcons, Deion? I don't think so. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe more Falcons fans to call out here. And there's not a lot of great history to talk about as far as winning for the Falcons. So for the Falcons, I think it's kind of tricky. I think that it would probably be spread out a little bit more than we probably think. I think you might get some votes for Steve Bartkowski. But once again, they didn't really do a lot. They had some good years. Would it be Chris Chandler? No. Even though they did go to a Super Bowl, would it be Jamal Anderson? Jamal Anderson had a lot of fanfare with the Dirty Bird, and, the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, this is one that's kind of tricky for me. Maybe we'll get some more conversation on the chat line about that. Who do you think is the most iconic player, or if you took a poll, who's the most iconic player in Falcons history? That's a good one. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and this segment is brought to you by 911 Tax Relief. Get Uncle Sam off your back. All right, go to my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and click on their banner link and check them out. 911 Tax Relief. From Griff, he says the Skins probably is John Riggins as the player and not the coach Joe Gibbs. Yeah. A lot of great players. I was thinking Joe Theismann, maybe. No. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, it might be Riggins. Or maybe it's a defensive player. Maybe it's Darryl Green. Dexter Manley? No. I guess maybe it is John Riggins. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. And we're talking about most iconic players in your team's history. From ATL Zeke, he says, Doug, this is what happened to Georgia. Pruitt failed to stack the box throughout the game. He would stack it, and then they would get stops, but most of the time he didn't. I don't know what he was doing. Yes, obviously, two guys almost go for 200 yards apiece. You got to stack the box. You got to. Why would you not? As a matter of fact, in thinking about that, you got Treon Harris, a guy getting his first start, and they only threw the ball 6 times. Why after a quarter and you see that they're pounding the ball with you, talking about the Florida Gators, why don't you stack the box with 10 guys? Yeah. Why don't you get in a man-to-man, put one safety deep, and bring in personnel to stop the run? If that's the case, that's very disappointing. If you don't make an in-game adjustment for a team that's cramming the ball down your throat, that's bad. That's bad coaching. I mean, there's just no other way around it. And so that's very disappointing if that's the case. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and we talked about it a little bit before we went to the break. The Denver Broncos, man, they go down to the New England Patriots, 43-21, a great game for the Patriots. And wow, Tom Brady and Belichick, as I mentioned it earlier, left for dead. You know, Tom Brady, has he lost his skills? He throws for 333 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So great game for him. Great coaching over the last couple of weeks by Belichick. And on the flip side of it, your boy Peyton Manning says that he sucked. I'm not going to go that far because he did have a great game. And this is a game that I actually did see from beginning to end. It was just they didn't have the right things. The breaks went against him. But Manning goes off 438 yards through 2 touchdowns and had 2 interceptions, costly interceptions in that game. But he didn't suck. And, I mean, this is a guy being humble. This is a guy that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, being one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Some people will argue the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. So I don't think he sucked. Just some unfortunate situations. And, man, the Patriots just play great in that type of weather, in that atmosphere, and that cold. And so they continue to do the damn thing. So Ball Award goes out to the New England Patriots. 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. And so if you'd like to hit me up on those formats, you can do that as well. Let me say one thing also, speaking of the Patriots in that game. Watching this game yesterday and watching what Rob Gronkowski does and the touchdown that he got when they flanked him out to the left and he just ran like a little slant, he might be the worst or the biggest matchup that the NFL may has ever seen. Yeah, and we know this guy's had those injuries over the last couple of years and not being able to stay on the field. But when healthy, I think Rob Gronkowski is in the conversation. Now, I'm not going to say that he's the biggest matchup problem in NFL history because there's just been too many to even talk about, to even try to throw out there and dissect in the history of the game. But Rob Gronkowski is in the conversation. He is in the conversation, and if you notice, when Rob Gronkowski got more comfortable and he felt more confident about his injury and started playing, worry-free football, then the Patriots started winning because, let's be real, him and Hernandez were brought in there to be this dominant force as far as a different style of offense, and they're going to focus on the tight ends. And so that's what they did. That's what their whole scheme was set up around to do. And it's not a coincidence, in my opinion. It's not a coincidence that he starts to feel good. He's starting to play great football right now. Nobody can stop him, and the Patriots are rolling. So, yeah, shots out. Ball Award goes to Rob Gronkowski, man. Wow. Can you think of a matchup problem bigger than Rob Gronkowski on a linebacker, or Rob Gronkowski on a safety, or Rob Gronkowski on a cornerback? Cornerbacks are too little, and the linebackers and safeties, they just don't have good enough feet. They just don't have good enough feet. And this is a guy that's one of those old school football players. I think if you put this guy at a DN, he'd be an all-pro. I think if you put this guy at a linebacker, he'd be an all-pro, kind of like kind of like the way they're using Clowney right now as a defensive end, or how they plan to use him once he gets back on the field as a blitz outside 3-4 linebacker. I think if you put this guy pretty much anywhere on the field, fullback, he could do it. I think this guy would be a great football player no matter where you line him up for the most part. This guy is one of the biggest matchup problems that the NFL has ever seen. And oh boy, now you got the Patriots rolling. 7-2 on the year. New England Patriots doing what the hell they do. And like I said, there's a lot of conversation about them and about were they going to take a step back, were they not going to be the dominant team, and they just continue to do what they do. 7-2 on the year. Buffalo struggling. Miami had a great game this weekend. We'll talk about them a little bit later. But it's still the Patriots. It's still the Patriots in that AFC East. And the New York Jets, they stinky asses. Busted one goes to the New York Jets as they've lost 8 games in a row. Old ass Michael Vick that's lost 8 steps. He can't even come in and help this team win. They are horrible. Absolutely horrible, the Jets. And, wow, writing's on the wall for them. I mean, writing's on the wall. It's been on the wall, in my opinion. But Michael Vick came in, and he did some things good. I guess the big thing he didn't do is turn the ball over for the Jets on yesterday. But, yeah, still a sad, sad team if you're talking about the New York football Jets. Yeah. All right, the number is 404-382-0338. Scotty says Kaepernick gets a buster for fumbling that damn ball on the quarterback sneak to lose the game. Yes, and he does get a buster. We'll talk about that game a little bit more in detail a little bit later. All right, when we get back from the break, let's talk a little bit about some sad news, man. I mean, some sad news if you're a Carolina Gamecock fan. We talked about this last week, but there's a follow-up story to it now, and it's not good. You don't want to miss that. Whatever you want to talk about on this show today, on this Mad Dog Monday, we can do it. We're talking about who's the biggest, the most iconic player in your franchise or your program's history on the Doug Stewart Show today. That's the Dougie Daily question, Ballers and Busters. And you can give me a call at 404-382-0338. Don't go away. It's the Doug Stewart Show.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boat. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Yes! I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, I know you better not be talking long distance on that phone, running up my bill with that old hussy. Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougsstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your people like you not at your mama house. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much, much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their link on thedougsstewartshow.com or the app link for details.